Hey y'all, this is Walker Montgomery here, and welcome to part 2 of my episode of Whiskey Wednesday with my good friends Jon Rabinowitz and Mr. Charlie O'Connor. We're going to continue on what we were talking about earlier. We're at the beautiful Amston Bourbon Bar in beautiful downtown Versailles, Kentucky. We've been talking about the bar, just how wonderful, how unique it is. It's a very special place. Bourbon tours, Keeneland, whatever it is, there's a great atmosphere here for all the people who want to do those kind of things. So they can stop in here. We were talking, and I've known this story for a little bit now, but this is one of the top 100 bourbon bars in America, or in the world, excuse me. But you've got a story about that.
Well, it's actually a pretty funny story. So the first year we were put on the list, Charlie and I were just amazed. We knew that we had a great inventory of bourbon. We knew that we had a great clientele. Charlie and I always just reinvest in the bourbon. Like we have a great group of partners that believe in it. And so when the list came, well, let me start even before that. Charlie and I forever, and our other partners forever, were trying to think, what are we going to name this bourbon bar? We had all these different names. One of the first bourbon bars in the country is from this area, but that name had already been taken, so we couldn't get that. And so ultimately, we decided, I know it's really original, but we kind of dug the name, was the Amston Bourbon Bar, because this building was the old Amston Bank building, and if around town you'll see streets named after Amston, like he was a real prominent figure in this town. And we already had the Amston coffee shop had opened, so we were going to flow with, okay, we'll be the Amston Bourbon Bar. Not thinking sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, right? Yeah. And so we get put on this list, and Charlie and I start getting phone calls all the time. They're like, hey, like, we're on this bourbon tour. You're the #1 bourbon bar in the country. We're like, of course we're the #1 bourbon bar in the country. Then finally we get the magazine comes out, and they put the magazine alphabetically.
There you go.
So again, better to be lucky than good, and we just stuck with it. And we, by the way, believe we are the #1 bourbon bar in the country, so we're going to stick with it.
I believe it too. I really do. And you mentioned other partners. I know a few. If you want to name them, and because obviously it's a very special.
Mike Hall, who redesigned and rebuilt this whole building, so it was his kind of brainchild. So he very nicely did this. We've Mike Hall, and then we have Mike Morgan, who's
my law partner.
Morgan's his law partner, and Adrian Mandiano, who is another partner in Morgan and Morgan. Sean Fibert, who has become a great friend of ours, and he was John's business partner as well, and he wanted to get involved as well. And of course, a bunch of very important people are our wives, who help us a lot and put up with a lot.
Yes.
But we have to mention our wives. It's not just us. They're very involved in it as well. And John's wife, Kelly, has a big role. Debbie comes in and does a lot of stuff, and Lindsay, and they're kind of the three main because they live here.
Yeah.
So they kind of are always popping in and out of here. And Debbie has the poor job of doing the Christmas decorations and doing a lot of stuff like that.
And what's great is that same group, we get along so well in all our investments, is that group invests like in the restaurant in different ventures that we get in, and we have the Amston Property Group that's the same group of investors. So we've really been lucky that there's real synergy in the group, and really we're well aligned in what we want to do.
Close-knit group.
Yeah. And also Alex and Emily Riddle.
Listen, but for Alex and Emily Riddle, there would be no revitalization of downtown for sales. They really were the first. They
kickstarted the whole downtown, and they're great advocates of this town, and they've done a super job there. And they're also
live downtown,
and they're opening up a boutique hotel here as well.
I saw that actually. Yeah.
With
awesome.
Their partner Jordan, and so that's going to be a big help. Downtown.
Well, I mean, they couldn't do it in a better place, and I think we all know that. Yeah. What I do want to talk to you about specifically, you're not in trouble. but the
You sound like my wife.
yeah, right. Ashford Stud. Obviously, you work at Coolmore America. Just give us for the people out there that have no knowledge of the horse industry at all.
So Ashford Stud, where I work, I've been very fortunate to work for Coolmore most of my life. They've put up with me for a long time, and I'm just very fortunate to work for them. So we have an organization that we race horses all around the world. We've raced in England and Europe, and there's a farm in Australia. Obviously, the farm here, and we stand a lot of good stallions here in Kentucky. We're probably one of the leading farms with our two big boys.
I'll
American
say it.
Fair
You are the leading farm.
And Justifiable. Thank you very much. But there's some wonderful farms in the state, and it makes what to me it makes it a very unique state. There's not anywhere in the world where you have the best stallions, the best farms, and we're just lucky to be involved in it. And it brings a lot of tourists into this town. There's a horse farm country tour where you can ring up and book your tour to come and visit all these farms and just to see what it's all about. And all the farms got together to do this. Yeah. So now anyone can come and ring up and come and see a horse farm and learn about the horse business and drink some bourbon as well.
Yeah, so they can do that. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, and you mentioned that. I didn't know that. If we can find some links to the websites or whatever.
Actually, Charlie and I have a tour. It's called the Mashville Market, and so we have a Sprinter van that goes around, and they'll go to his farm, and we'll definitely send you the link.
Yeah, send me a link, and we'll put it in the description of this video.
That'd be great.
It begins and ends here. I know you're shocked by that.
Man, yeah, right?
It has to start and finish here.
Yes.
I got you. Well, hell, I'd take it just to ride on that Sprinter van.
You've been on it.
You've been on the magical Sprinter van.
It is magical, yeah. But also, we're going to write a song.
How's that going? We talked about this.
I'm trying to give y'all some credit on it. 10% each.
Yeah,
on
we'll take it.
I don't need a single, a double. I'm going to need a triple crown.
There you go. Single, a double, or a triple crown winner.
But all right, so by the time that this video airs, the restaurant's going to be open. Obviously, this place is open. What would y'all like to say once the restaurant's open? Stop here first. Go there, then come back here. So
the whole vision is it's just the atmosphere as a whole is that people, while they're waiting to go to the restaurant, will come over here.
Yeah.
We will have two bars, an upstairs bar and a downstairs bar, but the atmosphere here is going to be totally different. They're totally going to incorporate. We're going to incorporate the bar with the restaurant. It's just, and we could talk about this a little bit later, but the restaurant has been such a journey in terms of we were hopeful we would be open by Breeders' Cup, but getting skilled tradesmen, getting everything we know that Velazzi's needs to be successful and why they've been successful for 60 years, we have to wait. We have to be patient. Something Kelly and I aren't great with, but we're dealing with it. And when it opens, it's going to be unlike anything that's around here now. You agree?
Well, yeah, for sure.
Well, it's going to be done right. And it goes to the patience of having the right people doing it and everything like that.
Well, you said this, like one thing you said from the beginning is that we got one chance when we get them in that door. If we miss the first time, it's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
And so we're going to do everything we can to make sure we don't miss.
Yeah.
And people want to come here. And listen.
Their attention to detail, though, is unbelievable. They came down and we had the kitchen designed, and they came down and they redesigned the whole thing. They brought their chef down, and he was saying, this can't go there. And he was basically doing what he was going to do in the kitchen. Yeah. And they redesigned it, and that delayed us as well. But that was a good, it was a good delay.
And another thing is, one concern that for us, like, listen, we know we're going to crush it during Keeneland. We know we'll crush it on the weekends and stuff. But still, this is a family town, right? Yep. So we know we have to cater to people in the community. And so some people have raised concerns. Oh, is this white tablecloth? Is this going to be a place that is going to price us out? We're very vigilant of that. We know, like, my youngest daughter, all she likes is butter noodles. I don't want to pay $40 for butter noodles, So we're going to make sure that people are taken care of. Like, we'll have $15 plates, and we'll have steaks if people want steaks. So, like, we're going to have everything.
Well, I mean, you brought up the community, and we were talking about this earlier before the show. That's leadership in this town, and I know that y'all have, you know, very great respect for the leadership in this town, and as do I, just because of what they're doing. But so anything that you could do to touch on that.
So we have an incredible mayor and an incredible judge executive and a great city council. So our mayor, Brian Traggett, and our judge executive, James Kay, were just reelected. Mm-hmm. They're very progressive. They believe in developing downtown. Part of the reason Charlie and I are so vested in downtown is that we have the right group doing it.
And they have the vision as well.
They do.
To make.
They had it before us.
They had it before us, and they were very happy when we opened the Bourbon Bar. And then we had the discussions about the restaurant, and it was a big step for us to do the restaurant because it's a big building. It's a 6,000 square foot building, and
130 seats.
100 seat restaurant. I think they're going to do, but then we're going to have seating outside for another 30. But with the mayor and Judge Kay, his leadership on helping to make sure that, you know, everything is going to go smoothly and we can get the proper licenses and go through the proper steps.
In city and county council, like, they've been great.
It's also an old police station.
Well, so,
you want to tell that story or you want me to tell it?
You tell that one.
So, I mean, listen, 5 years ago, when we bought a bar, that was the police station. Our friends were absolutely terrified that they would be pulled over the minute they walked out of this bar.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what was, again, great about a small town is before we opened, we met with the chief and we said to them, listen, we're going to be very responsible. All our bartenders are going to be star trained. We're not we're not a dollar beer night type place, right? Like it's, our people are going to be vigilant of and careful on people like drinking too much. And so what we would ask is that you understand, like, we're opening a bar, just kind of watch out.
Yeah.
And if we need your help, we'll let you know. And they were actually incredible partners.
Yeah.
We were actually sad. I don't think many people can say this, but we were sad to see the police leave.
Yeah.
Next to the bar because they were such great people.
It bought great security, and the police were great. They didn't interfere with us, and we didn't interfere with them, and I think it was great to have the police here.
Yeah.
We missed them.
Well,
but they're only up around the corner.
Yeah, I was about to say they're not that far.
And they all became, you know, friends of ours, and they were just a good bunch of guys here. The Versailles police.
Yeah, it's a very small town, and in fact, one of the funny stories about the police is since they moved, but before, like, we would walk. My house is literally a block up the road. If I'd played it a little bit better, like, the bar is downhill on the way here and uphill on the way back. And so some of the police will honk at me as I'm walking back, and they're like, it looks like Mount Everest tonight. And I'm like, oh, yeah, it feels like Mount Everest.
I guarantee it. I love that, though, man. But, hey, in closing, I know y'all are very busy. I cannot thank y'all enough for coming on and supporting this channel, having the Amston as the location. I can't thank y'all enough. As I mentioned, at the time of this video's release, the restaurant's going to be open. The address to the Bourbon Bar, Amston Bourbon Bar, is 106 Court Street, Versailles, Kentucky. So be sure to write it down. Thank y'all for watching. God bless y'all.
And listen, before we go, it's a real honor knowing you. You've become a great friend of ours, and
I love y'all.
We're looking forward. We love your music, and we're looking forward to a big future.
Yeah, we can't wait to see you in stadiums.
Y'all are part of the family. And I love y'all, so I can't thank y'all enough. Thank you, and we'll see y'all next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey y'all, Walker Montgomery here, and thank you so much for tuning in to Whiskey Wednesday. We'll have another episode the first Wednesday of every month, and I'll see y'all next month.